Is there any way you feel that Hollywood and the Indian film industry can be encouraged to work together more closely so that both may benefit from the association?
Why not? I think that, as Anne was just saying, there are a lot of collaborations taking place. We have all the major Hollywood corporations now here in India who are not just interested in releasing American films, but also in co-producing Hindi films and Indian films. And I don't know whether this is going to be liked by the US consulate or not, but you know, wherever American cinema goes, it just destroys that local industry. So it's almost, you know, finished with the British film industry and the French and the German, and with just bombarding them with Hollywood, and they just take over everything. But you know, I think that competition is good, and all these countries are now realizing the fact that they need to pull their socks up. In India, I just feel that perhaps there's, because this cultural difference, cultural stories that come out of Hollywood may not necessarily work. I think the amount of Hollywood that is invading India is about 5%. And if there are 5 big corporations, Warner's, Fox, Sony, Viacom, Paramount, it works out to about 1%. It doesn't affect Hollywood too much, but I'm sure that they would want to increase this percentage. They want to hold hands with local producers. I've worked in several films, Hindi films, where our co-producers have been the major studios, Warner's, Fox. And I think that what we really lack is how to market and how to promote our films. I think the Americans are past masters at this, and we just cannot compare ourselves to them. They are absolutely brilliant. Hollywood is absolutely brilliant in how they promote and market their films. When we were in Cannes, there were at least 20 executives, top executives from Warner Brothers, who were just there to study the market and to promote and what to do, how to push this film forward. And I must say that the kind of marketing technology that they use for these films has been absolutely amazing. I wonder if some of you have been visiting England recently or New York. You have these large TV screens that are now placed on the streets, and you have Gatsby promos running there. You have Harrods. The entire Harrods is now designed with Gatsby. Nothing else. The show windows and the outside, the exteriors. Tiffany, which plays a very important role in the book as well as in the story. Tiffany's in New York on 56th or 57th Street. Can't remember when. It's all designed with, you know, Gatsby jewelry. All their show windows are there. So it just, every person that visits one of these stores is gradually getting captured by the element of that age and that film. And that's really fantastic. Before Spielberg made Jurassic Park, I remember that almost 2 years before that, comics and books talking about these huge monsters started coming out in the market. So you started reading them, these prehistoric creatures. And just when you were getting interested in them, you suddenly came to know that Mr. Steven Spielberg is going to make a movie on them. And you know, your interest even grows more. So these are some of the things that need to be incorporated in our industry. We have a paucity of funds, and that we are handicapped with. Yes. Hollywood has a lot of money, and therefore they can spend huge amounts of money in marketing and promoting their films. But I think that we are getting there. I think we learn a lot of the factor of distribution, of exploitation from Hollywood. And I think a lot of it has been incorporated now. A great amount of the younger generation, young actors, young directors and producers that you see today have all trained in America, in Columbia, in New York, in LA, and they bring back with them a lot of knowledge, of how, the whole management of a film needs to be incorporated, and that's wonderful. In the past couple of years, I now get a formal call sheet which tells me which time the sun is going to rise and when it's going to set, and what the weather is going to be like, and what time the car will pick me up from my hotel, and when I need to be sitting in front of the makeup room, and what time I should report on the set. I never heard of these things in 1969 when I began my career in films. But it's just wonderful, it lends a lot of professionalism to the entire job of making a film. And that's wonderful. I hope that gradually this will increase.